Welcome to the Wicked Radio Network.
Justice League Memory Tape Number 1. Origin of Lex Luthor.
That curly-haired kid down there's a newcomer to my hometown of Smallville. Guess I'll pay him a little welcome visit.
But as young Superboy flies down to greet Lex Luthor, a deadly kryptonite meteor speeds toward the Earth.
Kryptonite! Meteor! Overcoming me! Hang on, Superboy. I'll get rid of the meteor.
I owe my life to you. What's your name?
Lex Luthor. Meeting you, Superboy, is about the most thrilling thing that's ever happened to me. And I've got quite a surprise for you. Follow me.
Great Scott. Pictures of me and dozens of Superboy trophies.
I've admired you for years. To me, you're the greatest boy in the world.
I'm really touched, Lex. But what's all that stuff?
That's my chemistry lab, Superboy. I'm a farm boy now, but my secret ambition is to be the world's greatest scientist.
In that case, it's my turn to surprise you. I'll show you how Superboy expresses his gratitude to someone who saves his life.
With lightning speed, Superboy gathers the useless junk from Luthor's shack and creates a modern experimental laboratory for young Luthor. Later, as young Lex Luthor embarks on a fateful experiment,
With this chunk of kryptonite I removed from the gully, I'll be able to repay Superboy for this wonderful lab. There, I've done it. I've created a kryptonite antidote. Soon Superboy will be totally indestructible. Deadly fumes. Can't breathe.
Oh no! There's smoke coming from Lex Luthor's lab. My super breath will extinguish it. Lex, are you all right?
You rat! Your super breath destroyed my lab and blew the gas fumes at me, causing my hair to fall out.
But it was an accident.
Don't lie. You were jealous of my genius. Now you'll never have this kryptonite antidote I invented for you. And I will use all of my scientific genius to one day destroy you.
Recorded to you live from Edward O'Hare's therapist office. This is the Wicked Theory Podcast. Woohoo! Hey, kids, we're back. Hey, how you doing? My name's Bill Sweeney. I'm your host. This is the Wicked Theory Podcast. I bring my friends. We hang out. We geek out. And I got my buddy, Dom.
I'm back, baby.
Wow. That's all the kids screaming. I got my buddy, Ed.
Hi.
Oh, man. He's in the downers. He's in the dumpskis. Ooh. And I got my brother Bob on guitar every week.
Hey, what's up?
Ooh, there it is. Hey, so how's my team doing? Oh, I see some sad faces around here.
It's just a gloomy day.
It's a gloomy day.
You know, yeah, the sun's shining, but
I wonder why there's so much downness. Maybe it's you guys saw what we're going to be talking about today. I wonder which thing on this sheet. Let me tease it out, and maybe I'll figure it out which thing has got everybody in the downers. We got a little bit of news, not much. Got a little bit of news, and then
that's normal.
And then some emails before that, though. Mm-hmm. Well, that's normal.
Yeah, that's normal.
And then what's this near a little bit later? Oh, the Batman versus Superman.
Full spoiler review.
Oh. Man.
Straight from the Wicked Theory Laboratory, ladies and gentlemen.
People have some things to say, folks. So, so let's keep it light and lively until then. Or try.
I'll do the best I can. Everybody take their...
I think Ed's going to need...
lithium? Is that what you take to be happy?
I'm not sure, but we can find out. I'll shove some pills in Ed's drink and then
it looks like he needs them.
You know,
I don't know.
Double
man.
dose.
I don't know.
I think he's got the shakes. He's like, I don't know, man. I don't know if anything's ever
dude.
gonna be all right again.
All right, let's just try to move with the show. And
All right,
see where it goes.
good. That's a good point. Let's roll it out. Hey, welcome.
I thought we were trying to tease our reaction to the movie.
Yeah.
That's true. Secrets. We're not too big on
I guess
secrets.
there's no hiding how he's feeling right now.
Maybe his tummy hurts. Maybe that's what it is.
Could be it.
All right.
So
let's get
hey,
some official
moving forward,
business
hey,
out.
welcome to episode 46. Wow, here we are.
We're getting old.
We're getting old. Getting old. And
Is it 46?
Yeah. Last week was 45.
Oh, it was.
If you're looking at the doc, I didn't change it.
Okay, that's fine.
So fair enough.
Sorry.
Fair enough. No. Hey, I've heard that happen on other podcasts.
That's why I just wanted to keep it straight.
I hear you. And official business stuff is this week because we're gonna get crazy with Batman vs Superman. We're gonna move the Markham movies one more week. Next week, I think we're gonna end up coming close to wrapping it up. We'll have one more episode after that.
How about decision time? We give out a movie today.
Okay.
Finish because this is the last round, right?
I think there
So
should
we-
be
so
one
we
more
finished
round
the
left.
movie.
I've seen 2 movies that I still haven't reviewed yet.
Right.
Okay.
Me too.
So
Yeah,
In fairness and in all,
Oh, that'll be
Truth
three.
on the
That'll
table.
be 3 reviews.
Yeah,
each.
so-
All right.
yeah,
Yeah.
so-
Good point.
yeah, it would get a little
Solid point.
smothery. It would get a little smothery.
We got to get through 2 with Ed in one sitting. So.
Yeah, well, 2 with
too.
Ed. You
Me
have
too.
2.
Me too.
I have 1.
I have 1.
And you have 1. But I am still behind. But
And I will
this episode,
definitely
we would've
remember
done
the
it-
movie that I watched this week.
what was that?
I definitely will remember the movie that
Oh,
I
okay.
watched.
Oh,
this week.
okay.
But for different reasons than I saw, than I remember the first one.
Right. Okay, with the fucking first one.
Well, I really
I just wanted to put that out there in case one particular person.
Yeah, we know. We get it. We get it. That's why it was funny. So, what were you gonna say, Tom?
No, I was gonna say I'm glad that we're not gonna be doing it.
Well, because we need room. To...
I've been catching up on some Daredevil.
Daredevil.
Well, I was gonna say that I mentioned that too. That we're gonna talk Daredevil and Superman, but I was gonna push the Daredevil talk off to next week as well, and do it. That was gonna be next week's lineup is the Markham stuff and Daredevil, because give people another week on it. But also, you hadn't finished catching up.
On Daredevil?
Yeah,
No, I'm only on episode 4.
but that's all right because I think
you got a ways.
you got a ways, and
Got about like 9 or 10 left, right?
digging that shit though, right?
Really, really good show.
Yeah,
Really fucking impressive show.
yeah, better than first season.
Yes, it's a very, very impressive show.
Let me just say,
That people are excited to see. That people are very glad that it lived up to its
I'm
expectations.
trying to read this. Is this? Are you still holding on to the thing you were doing just before?
I'm feeling very happy for the
All right.
people who enjoyed Daredevil.
all right.
I just want to say that.
So because Ed can't seem to hold his feelings back, let's just jump right into it. folks.
Well.
No.
Wait, is that Daredevil or is that like
No,
a thing in general about fandom and then?
No. It's
Chanting it through
just
Daredevil.
in general, about fandom.
Okay.
I'm very happy for the people who were excited about Daredevil right now.
Right.
The people
Let's-
who can be happy about the things
Yes.
that they like, is that what that is?
Yes.
Okay, because if we're
not-
gonna talk about fandom,
Yes.
pick your battles. Because what you're saying is that the thing that you like didn't come out the way you wanted it, and then other people are enjoying the things that they like. So why couldn't you like Daredevil?
I did like Daredevil.
Okay, so you should be not sitting there
like
saying like, "Oh, boo-hoo," because the thing I really wanted to enjoy, I don't enjoy. But anyway, it felt manufactured. Anyway, on to other things, Ed, because you fucking send us emails all the goddamn time, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the thing?
Yeah, I send emails.
Right? And are they good emails?
Yeah, actually, there was kind of a theme that was going for this
And
one.
when you're here, we make you read your own fucking emails.
Yes.
Because, I don't know, just do that. That's
right.
the bit.
All right, so starting off with the emails. Gentlemen,
Sir. Oh, my God.
what is Superman's favorite soda pop?
Is this like a knock-knock joke setup kind of thing?
No, it's
I thought there was a punchline in there,
It's
maybe.
a serious question.
His favorite soda pop?
Krypton Cola.
7-Up and away. No, I mean, come on. He probably doesn't even drink that shit. Does nothing
Yeah,
for
I
him.
mean, you see the guy's body. I mean, come on. You don't
He's
drink,
gotta
you
drink
don't
like-
soda.
Yeah, I mean, come on. That dude is lean.
Not
you
even
know?
on a cheat day?
I haven't even seen him eat anything ever.
Right? Doesn't
So,
he?
I mean, does he need to eat? He just flies up in the air and he's full. You
You know what I mean? And how fast is
On a
that
good
going to
day,
go through him?
You know?
He's probably, if everything holds true, He probably needs to eat a lot, and our food probably isn't good enough. He's probably got to eat rocks to get enough vitamins and minerals into his system. Like, you know what I mean?
A very good assessment.
You know what I mean? If you're thinking about it,
Granite,
logically,
diamonds.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like, technically he can't have sex with a woman because he'd probably blast their brain out with the ejaculation.
It's got to be high density and high carbs.
I think
they should definitely cover that in Man of Steel 2.
Check out the deleted scenes of Hancock if you want to
follow through with some of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, what do we got next, Ed?
All right, gentlemen.
Sir.
What is Superman's favorite beer?
Decline to answer.
I know Batman's is Batweiser.
I respectfully decline. Superman would probably...
He looks like a Heineken
would he go for more lagers or
Sapporo.
ale?
That's like talking
Japanese
math to me.
beer. Japanese beer.
He looks like a
Sapporo.
Sapporo.
He looks like a wine coolers kind of guy. I mean, it depends on who we're talking about. If he's Clark and he's keeping up the persona, he's drinking something light.
I feel like I could see him in
Yeah,
a Heineken commercial, like wearing a nice suit, the little curl, the glasses,
Tap
being
dancing
Clark
on a cruise ship.
Yeah, exactly.
On a cruise with Lois. But I would think Clark would drink something light and fruity. And like a Burroughs and James, and then and Superman won't drink.
Clark Kent,
and Superman doesn't drink.
Okay.
Because he's perfect.
All right. Next question. What is Superman's favorite wine?
Noticing a theme. His favorite wine is...
I know what his new one is. Why did they make me do this movie?
Shut the fuck up.
Why did they put me in that movie?
Oh.
I know one listener that is a regular listener of the show that is not going to be happy with us by the end of this episode.
No.
And I think Bill knows who I'm talking about.
Yeah. Probably Grant, because Grant is the only person I know that, as of now, is really super jazzed about it and had a really good time with it. Yeah. It doesn't deny that there's problems and there's issues. Because, he's realistic and truthful. But, he's like, I had a really good time. And he was telling me that on his show when they record that he's got some kind of like, some counter arguments to people who have some particular stances on aspects of the movie.
Cool.
I didn't get into it with him. I told him, like, save that. Like, I'd rather hear you going on your own show. He's got some counter arguments.
I might listen to that.
All right.
Anyway,
do we have any other emails?
my favorite wine is actually a Bordeaux. Is that a wine?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
That's a type of wine.
Okay.
All right.
Not a brand.
A Bordello.
Gentlemen, what is Superman's favorite ice cream flavor?
Vanilla. He's boring.
It's just called Stop. with
It's Ben and Jerry's Stop the crap.
All right.
Cut the shit.
Rocky
What's
Road.
the point? Get to the button.
All right.
To the punchline.
And the last question.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, what kind of detergent do you use with Brights?
Am I missing the bit?
it's called My Mother.
It's
Actually.
it's called Ask My Mom. You know what I mean? No, with whites you use whatever you use with your colors.
Whatever's on sale.
Whatever's on sale.
Now,
Big discount.
I will also disclose just earlier in the week, when I decided to go with this theme.
Yeah.
I every morning when I go to work, I send an email to the Wicked Theory podcast.
Hey, thanks for the shout out.
And I
hate that show.
I also text a random question to my little sister who lives in Boston.
Okay.
And I sent all of the questions about Superman to you, and I sent the exact same questions about Batman to her.
Okay.
So just in case people were curious.
So let's see what
did you forget who you were sending which one to? So you put the cleaning question on both?
Yeah. Just for clarification, how old is your sister?
She's 3.5 years younger than me. So she's...
I thought you were going to keep it like vague,
yeah,
and that was going to be
she's
3.5 years younger than me.
She's 25.
Don't ask me.
She's 25.
Okay, cool. Just curious.
No, she'll be 25 in August.
All right, very cool.
Okay. So anyway, Batman's, evidently, according to her, Batman's favorite soda is grape.
Okay. Fair enough.
His favorite beer is Night Shift Nitro Stout.
That sounds about right.
Okay.
Seems legit.
His favorite wine is Pinot Noir.
Yeah.
And his favorite
Classy.
ice cream flavor is rum raisin.
I could believe that.
Mm-hmm.
I could believe that.
Yeah.
It's rum raisin is like a.
Mm-hmm.
Like
That's probably like one of those that's probably like one of those like $9 Ben and Jerry ones that like only Bruce Wayne can afford. Like.
It's a special limited edition.
Actually, that's more of like a Haagen-Dazs flavor.
Haagen-Dazs?
Yeah, rum raisin. I can't stand it.
Yeah, and the question I sent today was, what are your thoughts on tapas?
tapas. I'm not even familiar exactly what tapas is.
I think if women want to go topless in public, they should be able to.
It's a Spanish food.
No, I knew that it is, my friend. But if that's all you're going to tell me, that's all I already knew.
She said they taste great and provide variety, but at least in the U.S. are very overpriced. Barcelona is so good, though.
Well, geez, I would think.
She's a very well-versed woman, I guess.
Yeah. Well, she got her master's in England, did a lot of traveling through Europe when she was in college.
Fancy!
Yeah.
I like it.
Well, thank you, Irene. I'm going to have to actually tell her I mentioned her on the show. Although, she listens.
Yeah. If I timestamp it, supposedly. That's what she listens. She'll just jump to that part.
Yeah.
I think that was the hint I got. Which is fine. Listen all you want. As long as you click it, that's fine with me. You don't even have to listen. Just click it. As long as the thing loads, you can unclick it.
Great message.
Did anyone else email?
Yes, other people emailed. And it's not all about you.
So I can keep avoiding the moments.
Yes, you're going to be counting them down for a while, buddy. I don't know if you can contain yourself. Every single thing we talk about today might come back to BVS. It is indeed time for the Agent Palmer email of the week that will be turned into a clamor of some kind or another. So he starts it up. Hey, to the Wicked Theory podcast. See how he chopped up? He stopped doing the wacky intro line thing. So keeps it nice and clean.
That's because you kept making fun of him for it.
I know. I wanted him to keep it up, though. Even if he just stuck to one and just did it every time. So see, this kid, I should have told him not to write this, but he starts asking stuff about Batman vs. Superman. Batman vs. Superman. Superman does some serious damage to the Batmobile. Do you think Bruce Wayne has coverage for that kind of incident? And what do you think his premium is? I'm thinking he owns the insurance company, no? It's Wayne Insurance.
Yeah.
I think, I think Batman has to be on the General Auto Insurance, like bottom rung, because he abuses that thing.
Well, that's what I mean, but I think that, I think he's probably he owns the General. The General, like, you know what I'm saying? He's not, come on, he owns everything.
I don't think Bruce Wayne can afford to have Batman on his insurance.
I think no, but it's Wayne Insurance, and it only covers Wayne. It only covers Bruce Wayne, just one client, and it keeps everything off the books, That's how he keeps it all off the radar, you know what I mean?
It's a very expensive policy.
Yeah, it's very, but it all goes back.
It's all, have the business at that point.
That's what I mean. It's all in-house. It's all in-house. It all stays in his pocket, and it's a write-off at the end.
Employs a bunch of people just for that, huh?
Mm-hmm. And that's how he gets away with fucking, filling out the forms and faking it all. But moving on, hypothetically, you're all individually going to create a niche blog about one cartoon from your childhood. Will you blog at least weekly for 5 years, minimum 260 posts? What show do you have that much to say about? And which could you enjoy enough to dig into that much? Like, could you write an ongoing blog about a kid's show, a cartoon from your childhood? Was there any, what was a show you were obsessed about that you could go on about?
Well, actually, a show that I've found in recent memory that I would like to explore again.
You blacked out?
No, it's the adventure.
What you said, I found in recent memory.
The Adventures of Superboy.
Okay.
I remember that one.
Yeah. It was a half-hour show in syndication.
Mm-hmm. He had the dog.
No, it was a live-action show in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, I remember that.
Did he say cartoon?
Yeah, he did.
He did say cartoon.
He did say a lot. One cartoon from your childhood. Yeah.
So a cartoon. I mean, for me, it would be Batman the Animated Series.
That's the one you're probably obsessed about.
Although that's like the schmuck answer. That's the one everyone answers with.
Well, but that's because it's like one of the. If I had a list like what are actually really the best cartoons I grew up with, that's like one of the ones in the top 5. Like that are just not. Oh, it's the most endearing to my heart, maybe, but it's actually the best made. Yeah. Still stands up. Feels like a show adults could watch. Like it's that one. So, good answer. Good answer on that. Anybody have a show maybe that they were obsessed about as a kid?
No, really. Most of the ones when I was a kid were either replays of all the ones that used to be in the movies when grandparents were kids. All the Looney Tunes and all that.
Yeah, there was a lot of Looney Tunes.
There was the real crappy Saturday morning stuff. Speed Buggy.
Right.
Good old
which was a knockoff of
Herbie?
No, it was an knockoff of Scooby-Doo, but they took the van and they mixed mixed it with Scooby because they gave a different dog. Came up. They had a different dog and the car talked. The car talked. Yeah. And they went and they solved crimes.
There's a couple of hippie kids or some shit, right? Or a boy and a girl, something like that.
Did they do a crossover with Josie and the Pussycats?
No, but basically, I feel like those kids are the kids that ended up on Superfriends.
Really, think about it now.
Okay.
With Wonder Dog.
When I grew up, it was all the Hanna-Barbera stuff on TV.
Sure.
Okay. Low budget. Minimal, actual.
Well, that's all Cartoon Network was when I was a kid.
Yeah, well, a lot of that stuff was the foundation. They managed to take all that out of syndication, and those networks, spent years building themselves up on just being the only places to find some of that shit. Yeah. So for me, I don't know. The thing I probably obsessed the most with for a cartoon is probably G.I. Joe, but I mean, that's just telling you what year I grew up. You know what I mean? It's basically all that. How about you, Don? What's like a cartoon show that?
Well, I was probably prime kid age when
Power Rangers. He gives me.
Yeah. I was probably
that's the fucking enemy. But go on.
I was probably perfect age for Spider-Man, the animated series on.
That's a really good
Fox
one.
Kids, I think it was. On, right?
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's still a channel anymore.
But that's the one where a lot of the episodes were multi-part storylines, and they brought in everybody from the Marvel universe and shit right over time. It'd be
pretty much.
I never didn't watch it enough, but I would try to jump into it, and the episodes would start to be part 25, chapter 7 of the Arachnid War, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And it's it starts with Captain America and Iron Man, and before that was everywhere. You know what I mean?
Everyone who didn't show up on the X-Men cartoon in the 90s was on the Spider-Man show in the 90s.
Exactly it. It was every fucking mutant was on over there. And then maybe one mutant on the Spider-Man show.
Spider-Man and his friends.
So then his last question. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No.
I don't even think it qualifies as meat.
It's just marginally food.
And it's a hot dog.
To be a sandwich, it needs bread as well.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, fair enough.
I mean,
but I think he's implying a hot dog on a bun. Is that considered a sandwich?
No, then specify, because otherwise you'd have to say like a corn dog.
Well, then you would have to say, well, then he didn't say corn dog, he said hot dog. Because if you're just saying a hot dog by itself on a plate, then fine, fair enough.
Yeah, see, he's just saying hot dog.
Holy shit.
Yeah, Bob turned it into a semantics thing. I'm trying. I'll run with it.
I mean, technically, it is a piece of meat between two. Surrounded by bread.
Surrounded. See, that's the catch-all because you corrected yourself mid-sentence. You're like, well, it's not two pieces; it's one split, and you fold it.
Sandwich, an item of food consisting of 2 pieces of bread with meat, cheese, or other filling between them, eaten as a light meal. So
basically, what you're saying
if you're not eating a cheese dog,
if it's not technically a sandwich, then it must be like an American taco.
It technically is the America's taco.
No, it's a hot dog.
Hot dog, America's taco.
That sounds like a Deadpool commercial.
It does. It should be on a T-shirt, though. I just want just a big hot dog. And it says, the hot dog, America's taco.
If we took episode titles from quotes in the episode, I think
that would be the one, right?
Yeah, right.
America's taco.
I'll put it in the description area that pops up.
The hot dog, America's taco.
Batman v Superman, America's taco.
America's taco. All right, and then he signs off, but he's got a P.S. The impending interrogation of one Bill Sweeney is coming soon. Please send any questions you have to theagentpalmer@gmail.com, and I'll be sure to get some answers. So this is a thing Palmer is actually kind of known for, is these long-form interviews he does of random people and associates.
Okay.
And, he plays it straight and tries to get to know somebody and this kind of thing. I think guys from 7 Days a Geek have done a couple, and then some other guys from podcasts and stuff like that, and other people that he's come to know or cross paths with. So he's been warning me for a long time that this was coming for me. Oh. About a year ago, I think. He was like, yeah, I'm going to put you in my list for the interrogations. And I'm like, what? This is back when I didn't know any of his bit, any of his shtick, at Agent Palmer, where it's like, it's all kind of based on that spy stuff or whatever. Gotcha. So, moving on to... Oh, we had 2 last-minute emails came in, folks, under the wire. But first...
Not 1, but 2.
But first, we have questions from Steve and Irina.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Dom, you better fucking be here.
Yeah.
This is the last time. These were for Dom, and they still are.
Okay. All right.
The last 2 episodes.
These are very grim questions, aren't they?
They are. They are. And you trying to recap it a little bit?
Yeah, the last 2 episodes. I think one Dom left early, and then last week Dom wasn't here.
Right.
But there were questions. The first time we had no idea what they were talking about because it was about the TV show Grimm,
and they were written very inside. So
okay.
I didn't even get it.
So we spent.
This pleases me.
We spent like a good 10 minutes trying to figure out what is this question about.
Like what the fuck is a Wesson? Like what?
Wait, did you guys read it on the show?
Yeah.
What episode was this?
So
2 episodes.
Was it the Ed Heavy episode?
Yes, it was the Heavey episode and the one after that.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, so who was your favorite character on Grimm?
Okay. Is there a follow-up? No?
No follow up. I mean, there's two questions.
All right. So obviously, obviously everyone's favorite character is Nick. I mean, come on. Okay. But if I had it like,
but he does ask who's your favorite Wesson so far after that.
It's pronounced Wesson actually because
it's German.
because W in German is pronounced with the V.
I did not know it was Wesson. Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
My favorite Wesson. Well, my favorite character is Hank.
Okay, that's his buddy. That's the guy.
That's the cop. His partner.
Right. That's like the funny guy, the comedy guy, kind of like.
No, okay. Not really. I think the actor's name is Russell Hornsby. So if you want to look him up on IMDb, I really don't know what else he's been in before.
Fair enough.
He's been around.
But like Wesson, who's my favorite Wesson? There's not really like there's so many at once that like
his favorite was the old lady that was a chupacabra and was like, no one is going to believe you, and walked away from Nick.
That's actually a good one. That's a good one. I mean, there's been so many over the past few seasons that like I really, fuck. It's good. That's a great question,
it is.
Bob. I mean,
Bob's like trying to help, but Bob's like, I don't know.
I'm just like, yeah, fuck. I act like I know what I'm talking about.
Was there a dog? Was there ever a wolf? Like, you know what I mean? Did they ever have a bat?
Yeah, so I gotta pass on that one.
You gotta pass on that one.
I can't think of one off the top.
You know, how about this? Was there one that you kind of blown away by the effects, at least? Like, you were like, wow, that's like something I didn't expect him to pull off that good, or something like that?
It's gonna sound like I'm just like dodging the question, but like that's how I feel like all the time. Like I'm so amazed at like how they pull off some of the like the CGI shit on that show because it's on like NBC or whatever. Right. It's not really like.
That's kind of like why I'm asking the question. I'm thinking like,
but they always look amazing. Like, they always look really good.
So it's either really good or you're easily amazed.
That's a good assessment.
That falls for everybody though.
Solid.
All right.
Wait,
what, Ed?
I apologize. Could you actually explain what a Wesson is?
It's meat from a deer.
That's venison.
Oh. Fair enough.
So a Wesson is they're gonna
Cooking
really
oil.
fucking like really judge my like definition of this right now, but I'll give it my best shot.
No pressure.
So it's like this ancient myth type thing, this ancient German myth that is actually true. But it's pretty much just a normal person can also has like a split personality, split persona that is like, you know, the same as some kind of animal or some kind of mythological creature that's like, you know, like this past week's episode, it was the werewolf. So like the myth of the werewolf comes from this certain species of Wesson.
Okay.
So like you're just a normal Bill's just a normal everyday guy. That's a lawyer or he's on the Wicked Theory podcast. But when he gets angry or when he wants to, they call it on the show a vogue, and you see like the person's face turn, and they turn into the specific Wesson that they are, and they're very, very dangerous.
But they vary.
But some of them are very dangerous, and then some of them are like hamsters or like pigs or are like you know like little pussy type things that like get scared very easily. There's a really funny character on the show. His name is Buddy or Bud or something like that, and he's like some type of like hamster or like a rat, and he's afraid of everything. But yeah, on the show, so the Grimm is this character that. For centuries is the only person that could tell that a person is a Wesson without them like voguing to show the person.
Right, without revealing themselves.
Right.
You can see them.
Well, they have to reveal themselves, but they do it in two separate ways. They do it to show you that what they are, to scare you when they're going to attack a normal person, or they do it like for themselves because they just get frightened, and when they get frightened and they show themselves, Nick, the Grimm, he's the only one that could tell, and his eyes turn black, and that's what tells the Wesson that he's a Grimm.
Okay.
And there's like all these like over the centuries, there's been all these tales and stories that. That's
where like our mythologies and stuff spiral
Wesson
out of.
are definitely afraid of the Grimm because the Grimm is like the hunter.
Right.
Gotcha. All right, I get it.
So. You got it now. Mm-hmm. All right, let's jump back into this email from Steve and Irene. So the rest of these are for the Wicked Theory bunch.
Okay.
How do you feel about Swamp Thing?
Be kind. Directed at me?
Well, no, that was everybody now.
Okay, I know. Okay.
So Be Kind. This is Irina's favorite character.
I adore Swamp Thing.
I like Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing's
I like
a great
Swampy.
character.
I think he doesn't get enough credit. I don't think they've done it right. I think it's a thing that's going to be hard to make it work. It's so freaking weird.
Yeah.
But
I remember the TV show back in the 80s. I remember the comic.
Wait, there's
when I was a kid. I read it. So he's a good character.
There's a movie?
Different.
There was two movies.
Yeah, it was two
Wes
movies.
Craven
and
directed the first one, at least. I don't know if he directed the second one.
Was that Wes Craven, though? I want to say Roger Corman.
No.
One was really tongue-in-cheek. The other one was more of a trying to be like misunderstood.
Dom's got to look this up for us. But, yeah, there was the TV show was one of USA Network's first shows, first original content.
And I think that show went for like
longer than anybody thought it was.
Like 60 or 70 episodes because it was the only thing USA had.
Right.
So if they got 10 viewers, it was renewed.
Yeah, and it had the same kind of budget as everything like live action on Nickelodeon did at the time. So
yeah, it was very man in
budget.
shitty rubber suit and some
it was
action
like,
fights.
Swimming pool in the backyard with some like vegetation hanging off the sides.
Yeah, I used to watch reruns of that on the Sci-Fi Channel when I was like 8 or 9, and it was really creepy.
So the first movie is like really hard to watch.
So
the second one's hard to watch,
Thing
but the suit is
from
better.
1982, and it's directed by Wes Craven.
Aha.
Mm-hmm.
But the return of the Swamp Thing in 1989. Let's
Dirk
see.
Benedict.
Let's see who
I
the
believe.
director is on.
Oh,
The director
really?
is Jim Wynorski.
Okay.
Of the
second one.
of the San Francisco one.
Now known as Jim One Jobski.
I got one entry ski.
Yeah. So
Yeah, there's that.
that's
There's
that's
that.
really
It
all I got
exists.
for you.
It exists.
That's about it.
Swamp Thing, I think, is a great character. Scott Snyder's run for the New 52 of Swamp Thing is incredible.
Right.
Some of with Scott Snyder on writing and Yannick Paquette's art, some of the most gorgeous comic book art you're gonna see.
It's a throwback. It's definitely a throwback right
Peter
now.
Jackson needs to do Swamp Thing.
Somebody like that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's got to be a
Yeah.
guy like that. Peter Jackson or
There's a Swamp
Someone
Thing
with a
comic
vision.
out right now.
Someone
That's fantastic.
who's got a real good idea and who's got a vision and who's got the ability to really bring it to life.
not just vision, but also an ability to tell a story.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting at there. All right. An ability to actually tell a story. All right. So how about this one for everybody? I guess this is for Bob, actually. He doesn't say that because I can't play guitar. But it says, play the hardest guitar solo you know for us. Will you? And I don't know if he means hard as like technically hard or just hardcorest. Like, you know what I mean?
Dun, dun.
Right. Just whip out some.
I don't play lead. I don't play lead. I started life as a bass player. I picked up guitar as well.
Well, as you sit here with
my
as the
mentality
lead,
has never been to play lead.
as you sit here as the lead of the band, at least.
Yeah, the 12-piece band I got.
How about a
back here.
Metallica riff to just appease the kid or something? Oh, is it? This is
What a process.
It is.
I could see.
If I give a heads up, I would have had the bass out here.
well, you know, hey, it's an email. We're a spontaneous show. Let's see what you got.
See?
There you go. All right, that's it, kid. That's all you get. That's it. On to the next question. That's the hardest guitar solo.
See,
we know.
I could see Bill just cutting and us going, "Wow, that was amazing! That was incredible, Bob."
Hold on. Let's see what you get. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Steve, you happy now, Steve? He rocked out. For you, buddy. All right, so question number 3. Has anyone seen the latest Arrow yet? Felicity's being such a bitch, in our opinion. I guess Dom agrees with that. The way she's talking to Oliver and all her sass.
I don't.
So-
How did you feel about her?
I don't understand.
Do you watch Arrow? Ed?
Yes, I am. I am up to date.
So
Ain't she in a
obviously,
wheelchair or something now?
no. She was. They broke up, and she was miraculously healed.
Sounds fucking like
She was like I said last time we
sounds like
spoke
an
about
attention
Arrow.
game.
She was like,
some kind of
she-
attention
she
game.
was-
to me.
So she's not being a bitch because she's still in a wheelchair. She's just being a bitch because she's not getting any.
I guess.
I don't know. She wasn't miraculously healed. She,
Just stop.
what's his name, Mr. Travis or Holt, Mr. Terrific. Gotcha. Spoilers.
Stop.
Invented this microchip that they inserted into the bottom of the spinal column.
That sounds kind of miraculous.
But did you see the episode where they were breaking up and she's just like, you know what, Oliver, I'm done with you. And as she says that,
Ed,
she somehow can get out of the fucking wheelchair.
Yes.
And bitch walk out of the room.
Just to do the
did you see it, Ed?
Yeah.
Did you see it? Huh?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes, I did.
Sure.
I
didn't.
I think the
Neither did
main,
I, but that's fine.
The main problem here, there's a disconnect between these two people.
Right.
Because every single time she breaks up with him, and it's happened a lot over the last year or two, it's because he lies to her.
No, it's because it's on the CW. That's why they keep breaking up. Because we need them to constantly be in fucking flux. And if they can't grow as a couple because it's not that kind of show, then they have to be constantly at odds. There has to be strife. There has to be struggle in every relationship.
It's almost,
ask a girl. No, I'm kidding.
It's almost like you want to take Felicity aside and explain to her how dramatic tension works.
Right. We have to build into
these
things.
And then, that just, in order for there to be conflict, Oliver has to hide something from you.
I mean, think about it. You know what I mean? He's
doing
it for your own good every time.
For anyone that watches Arrow, they knows that there's been a recurring theme since season 1, episode 1, that Oliver lies. Yes. And that his life is a lie, obviously.
Yeah. So she should really be like, I can't keep doing this. The lies.
Right.
The lies.
It's just at this point, it's just like, just stop. Right? To the showrunners, just stop.
It's the kind of thing where
we've had enough of it.
It's happened too much now that it's every other episode. Yeah. At this point, it's just like stop.
Well, what would be refreshing actually is if he actually did tell her the truth. Like all of a sudden it'd be a scene where like, well, I guess he's gonna keep this from her, but the first thing he does is tell her straight up.
You know what happens?
Like, she helps him deal with it.
He tells her that.
The end of the world is coming. She's like, "Don't go out! Don't go out!"
Spoiler alert. The thing that they fought over and broke up over this time was the fact that he has a kid and that he's kept it from her. And in the Flarrow crossover this year, he tells her
that's the Flash Arrow crossover.
And she freaks out, right?
Yeah,
she freaks out, bugs out. Breaks up with him, whatever. I don't remember exactly. And then
no way.
And then the world ends. Remember, like they all die. And then Barry runs back.
Yes.
And fixes it.
Right. The time thing that we all talked about. Right.
And then
Barry
tells him,
"Dude, you made a lot of mistakes, dude."
And he's like, "Oh fuck, I can't help it."
Well, also, like that whole thing. Well, she wouldn't let me meet the kid if I didn't promise not to tell you.
Which
at the outset is such a
the baby mama.
Yeah,
that concept.
It's a weird setup. It's like you can't go see your own kid if you tell her that you're a kid.
It's look, bitch. You either want him to meet the kid or you don't.
No, it's like somebody in the writers' room said, you know what? She should hold that over his head somehow. How can we make that happen? And no one could think of a better reason than that. Like, you know what I mean? They just wanted to make that happen.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing with some of these fucking things. It's like, oh, here's an idea. How can we make it happen? Yeah. And then the reasons feel like stupid.
And
because they're forced.
By the way, I'm still watching the show.
Oh, yeah, I know. All right, on to the next one here from them. Because they always send multiples.
We would still do emails?
No, yeah. Has anybody ever played darts? Anybody any good at darts? Have you ever gotten a bullseye? Like, I think I got a bullseye.
I used to own a Dodge dart.
Yes, no, and no.
Okay, fair enough. Anybody else care? Answer?
No.
Sure? No. I'm not. I mean, I've played darts. Not that good at darts. Darts is a game takes a lot of practice though.
And a lot of beer.
I've gotten a bullseye, but usually when not really playing, like goofing around, like just throwing, like trying kind of like half-assed to get it. It's like
that's the only way you would ever get one.
Like I was so good, like hanging out at the bowling alley one night. My ex-girlfriend's family fucking owned the bowling alley, so we were just hanging out. So they had the lanes open, and we could just free bowl. We would just free bowl because there was nobody there. So I am just doing whatever the hell I want to do, not even trying, and I am getting strike after strike after strike after strike, and I'm like, whoa. And everyone's like, wow, maybe you're really good at this. You seem like a natural. And I guess I had the fucking form and all that. They signed us up for a league, like a league thing. Couldn't perform, bro.
Nope.
Couldn't do it. Once you put the rules on me, it was like I was like a kid learning for the first time. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm awkward now, and people are looking at me, and but when no one was around, and I could just do what I wanted.
Jimmy, I swear.
So anyway. So that's that. If people were looking for me to share life stories, that's what you got. All right. And any of you guys have pets? Does anybody have you had pets? Yeah, we've all had pets here, but
I have a doggy.
I've got a dog, cute fellow.
We've had pets.
Yeah, we got too many bad stories. We got bad pet stories in our house.
How
about you, Ed?
I have a paranoid psychotic cat named Patchwork.
That describes most of them.
Yeah, and my brother keeps.
Wait, what's your cat's name?
Patchwork.
Patchwork. I thought you said Patchwork.
It's a calico, just kind of.
Maybe he just hates himself because of his name. You ever think of that?
No. It couldn't be Toby.
No. We think
couldn't just be Patches.
I tell people she's mentally challenged, just because she's afraid of her own shadow.
Sure. Some cats are really weird about
and just very scratches everybody, runs around. Very very strange animal. Mm-hmm. And my brother has a 6-foot wildebeest. He calls a German Shepherd.
Okay.
That has basically kept my family hostage for the last 2 or 3 years.
Woof, feed me.
Is he? Why is he? What did he do? He just dropped it off there, or
no?
Oh, he lives at the house.
Yeah, he lives at the house, but
but the dog is taken over. Basically.
Yeah, my brother's never around.
I got you.
Yeah, and it's
the dog
kind
wins.
of
the dog rules.
Yes.
He's a good dog, though, right? I mean,
I suppose I'm not a dog person.
Right.
So what you're saying essentially is that you don't have that thing in the left of your body.
I forget what they call that again.
That thing that makes your body.
Internal device that kind of keeps you going.
That heart thing.
The pump.
The heart.
The heart.
The heart.
Right.
Yeah.
You got any of that? No. You don't like things that are cute? No, it's hard. With some dogs, it's like...
This dog is not cute.
Yeah, well, personality goes a long way, and if they don't have much of one, and they're like a big lunk head that's like a little over-demanding sometimes, dogs can be a strain because of their size, really. They can be a nuisance. Cats, much the same thing. Like, you know what I mean? Some cats just have to be all up in the wrong place at the wrong time all the time. You know, other cats are chill. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, it's
I know a lot of people who are like, fuck cats. Cats are crazy. They're all fucking possessed by the devil. And I'm like,
I like cats.
Some of them are cool.
I like cats because for the most part, they leave you alone.
Yeah, well, that's yeah.
I can't really speak for cats because I never had one. But I'm a firm believer that a dog's personality is a reflection of its owners and how it's treated.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
I mean, that's just like having dogs or whatever,
Yeah. So there you go, Steve. So I will ask you guys in your next email to tell us if you have any pets. How about that? How about I flip the table on you? Right? I flip the script and shit. I'm asking you questions in an email. All right, and then at the end he wraps it up with, well, that's all. For this time, enjoy your Easter, and then don't eat too many chocolates, Steve and Irina.
Happy Easter, folks.
Happy Easter. Then we got another one from Brian Hughes from Scotland.
Please don't do the accent this week. I had secondhand embarrassment of both of you listening back to last week's episode trying to...
Imagine how Brian feels over there. He's like, I might just give up on this show. I don't know.
He probably loves it. He's probably like fucking dumb Americans.
Yeah, I know. I mean, here's how much I know about Brian Hughes. He could be an American transplant over there. Like, I have no idea what his backstory is. If he's really Scottish, anything. I have no idea. I don't even know if it's a real person.
He actually, for all we know, he could have just washed up on shore there one day. And
he actually
started emailing us.
He actually grew up in the Dominican Republic.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? All right. So, look how he starts this one. He could be from New York City. He's like, "Yo, Bill." Saying who starts that? "Yo, Bill, still listening to your geeky pod," and they said it wouldn't last. So, a new TV show over here in the UK sees Houdini team up with Arthur Conan Doyle to solve bizarre and inexplicable crimes for the new Scotland Yard. Really good show, by the way. So that's his little...
That show is premiering on Fox here in the States in a few weeks.
Is it the same show, though? Or is it like America's version of it?
No. I believe it's the same show, and I'm looking forward to it.
Because I remember seeing something about it, maybe when it was starting to air out there or something.
What's it called?
I don't... It doesn't really say.
Houdini and Doyle.
Oh, okay, then. I'll go with that.
Houdini done it.
There you go. So thanks for the heads up on that one, Steve. Brian? Steve. Okay. My question is, what would be your dream team up to fight crime, etc., but who haven't worked together before? So think outside the box on this one. Cheers, Brian. Thanks for your email, Brian. And so the question is, a dream team up for two characters that haven't teamed up before to fight crime.
I think that's very, very simple. It's Adam Ant and Cliff Clavin.
Oh yeah, so simple.
So,
Like, two characters that no one's ever even heard of.
You mean Adam Ant or
I was
Adam Ant? Like ATOM or ADAM? Like,
Adam Ant, the cartoon character.
Okay, thanks.
The Hanna-Barbera cartoon
Okay, I thought maybe you mean the rock singer guy from the fucking way back.
Oh, there's a singer?
Oh.
Yeah.
Write that down. For you,
Adam
for that's your research. That's your homework for the week, is to look up the joys of Adam Ant.
What was the song?
I don't even
You don't
remember.
drink, don't smoke. What do? You don't drink, don't
Don't
smoke.
drink, don't smoke. What do you do?
It's like some pop,
Yeah,
watered down
pop
punk.
bubblegummy bullshit.
Well, anyway, no,
that had like a retro sound.
the ant, the Hanna-Barbera ant with superpowers.
No, I know, I know. He is.
And the post office guy from Cheers.
Oh, I Cliff Clavin.
Cliff Clavin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, Cliff Clavin.
Yeah, Cliff can keep him busy
bigger.
while Adam is like getting underneath their shoes and lifting them up. You know.
And Cliff just giving me.
I was going to go a whole different way. I was
All right,
thinking,
well,
I was thinking me and Mike Tyson.
There you go. That is two people who have never teamed up before to fight crime.
You know what? He
thinks he's a superhero, so that's good.
Yeah,
enough.
and you know,
And he's
one of
knocked
these,
plenty of guys out
I was
with
going
one
to say
punch.
one of these has got to be the guy to solve the crime, and one of these has got to be the muscle, right?
Yeah.
So, Dom, you got anything? Who would you slap together? Your dream team. That's Bob's dream team.
trying to gain some.
I was just thinking of Mike
inspiration.
Tyson mysteries.
Fair enough. What was that?
Maybe I'll throw Jesse Custer in there.
Okay.
He's
All right,
a solid
okay.
crime fighter.
But we don't need anybody else. You got him.
True. And myself, because I would love to hang out with Jesse Custer.
There you go. You guys will
There
start like a little
you
private
just
investigation.
watch him work.
Yeah.
Start a little private investigation company. I'll team.
Be his scribe. Write everything down.
I'll team Kit from Knight Rider with Turbo Teen. If anybody knows what that is, and you can just have fun with that at home. If you're catching any of that, what that would be. Turbo Teen was a cartoon back in the days where this kid, whenever he would get wet, would turn into a car.
You said enough. Let's move on, sir.
There you go. Turbo Teen.
Remember that?
And it was horrible. But I watched it.
And it would be stupid things like you'd see him in the shower getting ready for school. He'd be like half a car.
Let me tell you how
Mom,
great.
I'm getting ready for school.
Yeah, it was all this kind of crap. Any excuse, like, don't push me in the pool. And then he turns into the car at the bottom of the pool. But
oh my God! Thank God it's a fucking
cartoon.
oh my God! Thank
Oh,
God!
dude, you pictured it live action.
Oh my God!
What?
You looked up Turbo.
Oh my God! I was thinking it was like live action. It was like an actual show. I'm thinking of like the horrible effects
this
from
is
like
pre-
the 80s,
No, this is
and like a guy in the
pre-green
shower like,
screen.
"Hey, Mom, get dressed."
right. You pictured it all live action. Some goofy
No,
curly hair.
back in
brown
the
hair
80s, we
kid.
were still using scientific calculators to get to the moon.
Right.
You just
So-
you just see a bumper show
Like this is-
coming out of the shower curtain.
right.
That ran from September 9th, 84 to August 31st of 85. So nice
season.
run.
It's a full year.
Yeah, I used to watch that, and then this was like at the end when they were running out of fucking shit to put on, and they made a show out of fucking, I think, Rubik's Cube. Yeah, Rubik's
There
Cube
was a
had
Rubik's Cube cartoon.
show for a season where he was just like,
Rubik, the amazing cube. That is
That
that
is
is a people also search for on Google.
that
And
is
this,
a
this
thing.
is why we couldn't answer the question before in the emails. Like, what would you put the cartoon?
Sure.
So
Yeah,
I'll
could
take
do a
you.
blog-
I'll
could do a
take you
blog?
guys.
This is why I couldn't do a blog for a year for a cartoon from when I was a kid. This is what we had to deal with.
I'll take you guys down on a trip down memory lane.
Oh.
I was a teenager with this. I had,
Oh yeah,
I
you
had
were out of
less
the
to
house.
deal with.
Yeah. You were either sleeping through this or you were still out from the night before.
Yeah, I had less to pick from. You know,
Yeah.
I had the '60s version of Spider-Man being repeated all day.
Yeah. But that was the good stuff, though.
Yeah, that was
Trust
the
me.
good stuff.
As like this
That's
stuff
why
is
I
like the
remember
bottom of
that
the barrel. Hit me with a couple, Dom. Dom pulled up a list.
So this is people also search for on Google after the Rubik,
Gotcha.
the amazing cube.
Yeah. What else today in relation to
Yeah, this must
Fang
must be-
Face.
Fang Face?
I remember.
That's
Fang
from
Face.
78 to 80 that ran.
That's the name of the show?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was like a dog that turned to a werewolf or
Saturday
something.
Supercade.
Okay. That must have just been a block of shows or something, maybe.
Maybe. Oh, maybe, yes, okay. Thundar the Barbarian.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thundar.
And Ulaka, I think, is their name of their Chewbacca knockoff.
I even remember this one because I watched this on syndication when I was a kid. Dink the Little Dinosaur.
Yeah.
I don't remember
No,
that one.
don't know that.
No?
one.
My time. Where's Dave?
89 to 90.
Oh, I do remember that, the little dinosaur.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you saw a picture of it, you'd be like, "Oh, I've seen it. I've seen it."
It kind of looks like a Land Before Time, so that might be what's ringing your bell there.
That's fair too.
I was perpetually inebriated those days.
Yeah,
so.
probably. Fair enough.
I was out of high school by then, so I was,
The Centaurions.
The Centurions.
The Centaurions. Okay.
Sure.
I didn't know.
Sure. No. I had one or two of those. Shitty.
Inhumanoids.
Yes, that's with Gleek. That goes back. That's Hanna-Barbera.
That's an old one.
Oh, Bob.
The Puppies' Further Adventures.
Pound Puppies?
The Puppies' Further Adventures.
Yeah, I remember Pound Puppies.
Pound puppies.
Okay.
That was too violent, though, showing people.
By the way,
puppies.
I know I just said. I know I just said pound puppies to the theme
of Hot Pockets. Right.
And I wasn't trying to mimic the Pound Puppies theme song.
But I think what you did is imply a very delicious meal.
You created a Chinese Hot Pockets.
I was trying to avoid the Chinese reference, but Bob will go there.
That's horrible. That's horrible.
Kind of funny.
I feel bad all over for that.
Anything else on that?
There's a few, but that's it.
All right, we've had enough of that. All right, so thanks again, Brian, for the email there, and cheers to you. And then Steph Muniz has written us an email at the last second that she must have been working on all week.
Hey,
because it's a novel. It's I think she's going to pitch us the first 3 chapters of her book.
Okay.
And
she's writing a book.
Well, it seems like it. No, I'm only kidding. I'm teasing her about her overall length. So guess who's back? Back again. Steph is back. Tell a friend. Anyway, hey you guys. It's the long-awaited Steph mail. Apologies for the delay. I know it's been a while. I fell behind and feel bad about it. I've actually missed you guys, but I'm all caught up now.
Oh, we missed you too. I did.
She's got a preacher update of her own.
Ooh.
She's finished book 3, on to book 4, still loving the series, and the Santa Killer's story arc was great. But what the fuck, Cassidy? Twice? How many times is he going to blame it on the alcohol? I still love the character, but the tension is killing me. If you haven't noticed, I'm trying to keep it vague so as to not spoil anything for folks more behind than me. You can decide if you want to address this on air, as I guess it's not too much of a spoiler, or just shoot me a DM, email, text me something, let me know if you were annoyed, with which as I currently am. But just a note, I go into these live on the show, so if I wouldn't have known. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so as for the people sending hate mail to Agent Palmer, I was wondering when you were going to join the Palmer hate mail bandwagon. Everyone should blame Palmer for things. I mean, am I right? So
I think I just came up with a new hashtag.
Okay.
ThanksOpalmer.
ThanksOpalmer?
Like thanks Obama.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Opalmer.
All
right. There you go. Maybe that's the one for this episode. People, if you're listening to the episode, hashtag this one, thanks, Opalmer, as you listen and tag along. So on to the next spot there. Bill, are you the only person I know who has to be in the mood to enjoy a certain type of cookie? A cookie is just a cookie, dude. I guess when we were talking about Girl Scout cookies, I was like, I have to be in the mood for those.
Oh, that's right.
The coconuts.
It was the Samoas.
Yeah, because it's coconut shit. Yeah, and that's literally the truth. Like, just sometimes I'll have it, sometimes I won't. I completely agree with the Indiana Jones topic. Love the originals. Harrison Ford was amazing, iconic. Crystal Skull was a letdown, so now to have another one with Ford, there's not much hope of a great movie. A good movie, maybe, but probably not. They should make this movie a passing of the torch, with Ford just being in it briefly, and have the majority of the movie be about the new character taking over the role. A while ago, when Chris Pratt was still soaring from his Guardian success and Jurassic World, was getting ready for release, there was a lot of buzz and fan art depicting Pratt as our whip-cracking archaeologist. If you could cast a younger actor to play the new Indy, who would you cast? You stay classy, Staten Island. Steph. Thanks for the email, Steph. Appreciate the question. Mm-hmm. So, guys, a younger actor to play. Is anybody on top of your head? I mean, they did kind of put out a list over the last couple of weeks of the rumored people they've been talking to. A lot of young guys. But
just because
for Han Solo, not for Indiana Jones.
Fair enough. Mm-hmm. Correct.
Since I'm hot on Daredevil right now, I'd have to go with either Charlie Cox or John Bernthal.
Charlie Cox would be a good one.
just anybody from that show, maybe?
No. I'm saying, like, I've watched a lot of them today. And I could both see them being Indiana Jones.
I could definitely see Cox more than Bernthal.
Yeah, I'm actually liking the idea of Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt too, obviously, but he's got too much going on, man.
Both of them.
Yeah.
He can't be the face of another fucking franchise. Come on. How many franchises can he be the face of?
That's the thing lately too. It's like how many franchises can anybody?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of different actors who could take on that mantle. I think Bradley Cooper would be very.
I could dig Bradley. I think maybe.
I think if you wanted someone like really young, I like Taron Egerton. I think he kind of has like a young Harrison Ford vibe.
Okay.
I know he's also in the running for Han Solo.
Yes.
Okay.
Keanu.
Keanu.
Come on, man. I can just picture
I'm not
him.
saying he can't.
I think he's a little old for that part by now.
But Harrison Ford he was a little bit old for that part 2 movies ago.
Well, that's all fair and said, but I mean, if we're gonna kind of start over,
well, the essence of the question is when he started, he was in his 30s.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was gonna say. Is like
like Keanu would be starting now, and he's in his 50s.
Yeah, like Harrison in the first movie, whatever age he is there, like we're shooting for that, I guess.
Yeah,
but
well, if it's gonna be a reboot,
Paul Rudd.
Yeah. Well, Paul Rudd and Bradley Cooper.
I heard somewhere recently that everybody likes Paul Rudd.
Well, yeah, that's true. He is fucking likable.
No, it's only if you drink Bud Light.
But he is super likable.
Well, everybody's likable when you're drinking Bud Light or any beer.
That's true.
Matter.
That's true. Likability does go up.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of anybody off the top of my head really that I could say, oh, yeah, sure. Because I think the age thing kind of throws me off a little bit. Where like I feel like Bradley Cooper has the personality to kind of do it too. But even then, I feel like
maybe Dave Franco if you're going young.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I think
Dave Franco maybe. Yeah.
If you're going like
the other Franco.
Yeah.
What about what's his name?
The more likable one. Because I'm not a big James Franco fan.
The guy was just in a war movie a few months ago. He used to be on The Office.
John Krasinski.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I mean, he's got a little bit of they've manned him up.
He's a little too goofy for me though.
He does have a bit of a goofy look and stuff like that, and probably some goofy takes. But
also, I think
you can man him up a little more.
I think he needs to have a beard to look really tough.
Yeah, it can't be just the Indiana Jones scruff. It's got to have another couple of days.
Yeah,
like the Indy scruff is like at least a day, 2-3 days.
Goatee, give him a goatee.
You need like a half a week or more. You know, like more of a solid scruff on him to make him manly.
And he can't ever look. He can't ever look in the camera. No
deadpans.
The second he comes close to looking directly in the camera, it's over. It's over.
As soon as you catch the shape of his jaw and his chin. Yeah. So I don't know about this one. I really can't think of anybody off the top of my head. I would
Chris Pike.
Pine.
Chris Pine.
Pine.
Yeah.
I got my Star Wars. Chris
Pine's not a bad one.
Chris Pine's very good.
He's always been. He pulls off that comedic smugness kind of. Overconfidence,
and a lot of times
they use it in Patriot games, right? The last Patriot.
But again, how many
franchises
do you want this guy to fucking?
He's
got Wonder Woman. He's got fucking Star Trek.
Yeah, but he's second banana in Wonder Woman, and Jack Ryan failed.
Yeah,
even though I like that movie. I don't know.
I know it wasn't a bad movie, but
it just didn't catch on. It didn't catch on.
Basically outside of Star Trek, he hasn't had a big hit yet. He just had Finest Hours, which I think the studio lost like $75 million on that movie. Ouch. Yep.
Yeah, that was the one with Casey Affleck too. Also.
Yeah, it's just a shame. I think Chris Pine is kind of in the same place that Ryan Reynolds was in about 5 years ago.
Where it's like, here's a guy with massive potential, and just the projects aren't.
Yeah, and he's gonna have to fight for it.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like or it's just gonna be.
He's gonna have to get jacked. He's gonna have to get built. He's a thin guy. He's gonna have to get a little bigger.
He can get a little bigger. He can bulk up.
But that's no problem with it. What's his name? Captain America.
It's funny that you mentioned that he's like kind of second fiddle in Wonder Woman, because I wonder. It's making me think I wonder how much acting Gal Gadot, or Gal Gadot, however you pronounce it, is going to be doing in that movie, because she's not a very good actress.
I mean, that's all arguable and all that, but I think she's going to have to. She's going to have a lot.
She is going to have to, but if it doesn't work out,
no, it's going to be rough.
I'm just saying he might have to step up. He might have to step up, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what has she really done? Do we really have a strong sample from her?
Fast 7.
Horrible. She does the Fast and Furious movies, but is that really a good?
But she was terrible, man.
Okay, I only saw the last one just because I was told I had to.
Well, wasn't she like a beauty queen or something? Then got into acting, or
I'm going to say it's possible.
I'm
don't really
almost 90% sure that she's been in 2 movies. One being Fast and Furious 7, and the second being Batman v Superman.
I think she did a little bit
in all
before
series.
She was in.
Here in the States,
she
anyway.
was in Fast 5 and Fast 6.
She was.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. The two of them
she's,
equal.
She's been in the last 3 or 4 Fast movies.
So she's been in the 3 Fast movies. So she's had 12 minutes of screen time.
Yeah, in that movie, Date Night with Steve Carell and Tina Fey.
Okay.
When they go to meet Mark Wahlberg, she's the chick he's banging in his apartment. When they show up.
Quality actress.
There you go.
No, I'm sorry about I didn't mean to get on her because I actually liked her performance in Batman v Superman, but we'll get into that later anyway. So.
No, but I understand what you're saying. It's like there's not like a track. A lot of people say she doesn't have a lot under her belt, and she feels clunky in the Fast and Furious movies.
As Ari Gold told Vincent Chase after Medellin premiered.
Yeah.
Are you? Do you think I'm a good actor? It remains to be seen.
And with that, we are wrapping up the emails, kids, and then we're gonna take a break, and then we're gonna come back.
We'll return after these messages.
You know, Robin, quite often people choke on a piece of food they're eating.
Right. What can you do for them?
Well, if I were choking, you'd stand behind me, wrap your arms around my waist, then make a fist with one of your hands and put it against my abdomen with your thumb against my body, slightly below my rib cage. Grab your fist and press in and upward. You might have to press and push up more than once. Try it again. It's important to get it right. Someone's life may depend on it.
Yeah, news. I'm going to do news speed round because we don't got a lot and we want to get to other shit. So I just wanted to mention that in comic stuff, Sons of Anarchy's Kurt Sutter, the creator of Sons of Anarchy, has got a new comic coming out, and it's called Lucas Stand. Keep an eye out for that. It's coming from Boom. And
Boom Studios.
Boom Studios. I like the hook on it. It seemed like a little bit of a cliche at first, but then there was a little bit of a spin on it. I liked. All right, so that's it. That's all I'm going to tell you. If that interests you, you'll go look it up on your own. All right, I got no time for that. And then TV stuff. I just want to point out that the Captain Britain TV series, everybody got all psyched for. It was just much like I figured it was. There was something not quite right about it. So the thing with that is that it's not happening.
Oh. So someone was going to make a Captain Britain TV show?
So here's the thing. There's some little production team trying to put together some kind of package to present to Marvel of a concept they have for doing a Captain Britain TV series. This one woman who works in the designs and graphics department kind of put a little thing out on her Twitter of a rendering, probably like in his 3D program or something, of his spandex suit kind of a thing. And she's like, oh, we're working on something, and probably spoke too soon. So people should just know that it's not an official project. It's not something Marvel's even seen. It's like chances of it are nil, basically. Gotcha. So as much as it's a thing, hey, cool, but not happening. And then other news, just real quick, I just want to let people know, in case they have some pocket money laying around, that one of the Batmobiles from Tim Burton's first Batman movie.
Probably one of the most, one of the best looking Batmobiles.
Definitely like an iconic.
Yeah.
Does
not look functional at all, or
no.
functionally practical.
No, not at all.
But just as a piece of art and design, it's really amazing looking.
Yeah. I feel like that one, and then they don't get unique again until you get to the Nolan stuff. Whatever was in Batman 3 or 4 or 5, they're a blur to me. But anyway, but Ed, if you got some money, they're auctioning one off on a Russian auction site.
What's the
about $1 million?
Okay,
about $1 million.
A Russian auction site?
Yeah. So it's it's Shady O'Grady, but still.
What the hell's a Batmobile doing in Russia?
Well, that's what hey, I'm not asking questions. Are you going to ask questions?
No, only the KGB asks questions.
That's right. In Russia, questions ask you.
In Russian auction, nobody asks questions.
This is true. Don't ask too many, because you'll ask the wrong one eventually. All right, but also I just want to slip in here that there is truth to the rumor that Axl Rose will be replacing lead singer for AC/DC on tour, which is which is I don't know. It's just, it doesn't work for me quite really. It's a bad idea. I think it's risky and dangerous.
Wait, talking about Brian Johnson?
Indeed.
I mean, can Axl Rose sing that loud? Can anyone sing that loud?
Right now, the only thing left of AC/DC is Angus Young.
Of the original,
okay? Yeah. That's it. All right. Everyone else is either going to jail, going insane, or going to die. Okay? So, Angus needs to take this as a sign.
I think he probably is, but I think contractually they're obligated to finish the tour or something to that effect, because why else would you pull in anybody to finish it out, let alone Axl Rose, a guy who, in this other little news tidbit that came through during the week, supposedly one of the reasons he was late for one of these gigs that he's known to always have been late for back in 1991.
Yeah, but you don't get Axl Rose for anything.
No, well, that's what I'm trying to back up and move along with, is that back in 91, as an example of why you don't get Axl Rose.
I'm just
Bob shell-shocked. Bob shell-shocked. I knew this was the one that I knew he would chat about more. That's why I held it for the end. But yeah, I feel like it was
actually Angus Young's son who confirmed it.
Yeah. It started. People started to question once it kind of like leaked out like a little bit. People were like, started pestering those on the peripheral of the group, like, you know.
He would be better off like doing a worldwide freaking search and finding someone a la Rockstar,
like how Journey did, because didn't Journey replace?
Yeah, Journey found a Filipino guy on YouTube.
He was a karaoke wonderkind.
Yeah, he can't speak a word of English, but he can sing Journey songs like nobody's business.
Oh my God!
And now he's the lead singer.
You know.
So I mean, you know, that's what Judas Priest did. Judas Priest found Ripper Owens, and he replaced Rob Halford for a while, and he did a good job. You know. Just anybody other than Axl. Angus, come on.
So back in 91, one of the reasons Axl was late to a gig was because he didn't want to stop watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: The Secret of the Ooze. Supposedly,
I mean,
he couldn't be pulled away, and insisted that like, fuck off. I'm watching this.
Go Ninja, go Ninja, go.
That's a story that's out there.
Ninja, go.
And that's really it. That's all I really had in the news. Obviously, kind of a beat week on the news a little bit, but
we did see a movie.
Yeah, a little movie
called
low budget.
Tiny budget.
I think the director used his credit cards to make this movie.
Yeah. One of these new up and comers.
Yeah, I think it was in black and white too, because it was really dark.
He's gonna be big one day. He may even be good one day.
Yeah, he'll be really good at visuals, I think.
You sons of bitches.
No, actually, I'm dogging it more than I'm letting on, but we saw Batman vs. Superman.
Dawn of Justice.
Ed saw it twice.
Yes, it did.
Ed, would you like to start us off in some way? So let me just put this out there real quick before you do. We're going, it's all open. We're not doing a non-spoiler section.
Yeah, just...
At this point, abandon ship if you still haven't seen it. Come back to us later. Put us in your favorites. Make a little note. Ed...
I also want to apologize to the listeners if for the rest of the episode I sound like a battered housewife because that's kind of like, you know, that's the place I'm in right now.
Yeah.
Just, you know, because
you sound like you have post-traumatic stress disorder or something.
You know, but they you know,
is it
DC? They still love me.
That's the thing. You have to remember that you know, they still care. They're just
no. That's right in their name. It's Don't Care Comics.
Oh,
they don't care to give you something worth your money.
Basically, to give it's not a. I actually think it's an okay movie.
You're caveating your caveat right now. Like, you know what I mean?
No, because I know personally there are a lot of things that I'm going to be saying that I think are problems with it.
Fair enough.
And I you know,
did we give a spoiler warning yet?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, I wanted to do it justice and say that, no pun intended, that I think it's an okay movie.
Right.
It's not bad, but that's the problem, is it's not great.
I think that's a problem for a lot of people right now. There's a lot of people who are freaking out or making too much of a thing about that. It's because they expected it to be earth-shatteringly awesome. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that I ever had that full-on expectation.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I kind of had a hope for that because I thought the gravity, the weight of it would get me there. But But for a lot of people, I think the instinct was that, like, this is gonna be it, man. This is the fucking one.
And like I've had coworkers coming up to me the last 2 days because people know, you know, I love these characters. I love these movies, and when I go, it's okay, they just look at me and go, it's that bad, huh?
They know that if you're saying that, right. So, so where do we really start? Where should we really start?
Ed, you kick it off.
Okay,
I wish we had a list of things, but I think go on.
I think some of the performances in it are very good. I think Ben Affleck does an admirable job as Bruce Wayne and Batman.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think we don't see a lot of Wonder Woman, but I think Gal Gadot did a fine job. The only kind of reaction at all from the audience in both screenings I went to was Wonder Woman's entrance in the costume got actually a round of applause, like a huge giant reaction. And I cannot say the same for Batman or Superman.
Oh, yeah.
I think the special effects were good. I feel like the first half of the movie needed more action. It was, there was a lot of setup. There were a lot of things that they needed to basically set up.
Yeah.
But I feel like you needed to intersperse a lot more action. And I think the main thing here, and I think this was kind of a problem with Man of Steel, is that the writers and directors of this movie do not understand Superman.
Right. And I think this is a bone for a lot of people, that they feel like the characterization of Superman just hasn't gotten right yet, even with this. Like, it's...
Yeah.
They look just... Or that...
Which I find amazing, because Jeff Johns is supposed to be like fucking DC boy.
Yep.
Like,
at the company.
The poster boy.
Yeah. Maybe the whole issue is, how do you show a lot of emotion and depth to a character who can't die?
Yeah, and
you know what I mean? And I think for directors, maybe that is a block for them.
It probably is to a certain degree.
So anyway, Ed's talking about
yeah, and I think part of the thing is Superman.
Let it all out, buddy.
Is not a character that's dark or brooding. I mean, he has those intense moments, and obviously there's a character where there's drama behind it.
Right.
But the whole point, whereas as Batman is meant to be, fighting crime. He's in a war against everything. Superman is meant to be uplifting.
He's supposed to be the contrast
and inspirational.
Right.
And it just felt like we were getting the same side on both coins.
Yeah.
I felt like that too, to a degree. I felt like there was supposed to be more of a contrast, and it wasn't. I feel like there is some contrast, but I feel like there's also this other thing going on in the movie where, like, the things that he's supposed to be brooding about, they're telling you, right? So one of the big things that he's supposed to be kind of carrying this weight on his shoulder of is how, no one's liking him, no one's digging him, and now he's getting the blame, and he's getting set up for things. And even as the only thing that kind of like show him doing or mulling that really is him, this little montage of him saving the day. Like, it's like, he saves the rocket ship, he does this other little thing, and the voiceover is like, he's trying, people, but what I felt like was there wasn't enough of that. There wasn't enough of getting into his headspace. And the reason why, because if you become too empathetic of his story and you care about, if you side with him too much, then Batman becomes an asshole. See, that's the thing. They needed you to feel just gray enough about Batman's position, but to side with it being okay for Superman's position, but to be just okay with Batman going and wanting to kick his ass, because that's the thing. You're supposed to feel both sides, right? And instead of putting him in a position where, like, he was Superman is completely sympathetic. Like, he's only marginally sympathetic in this. Like, not that they paint him as a bad guy, but what I'm just saying is that they don't make you feel.
Well, like, as far as the destruction, like, a big part of the first one, I remember getting into fights with people, and I defended Man of Steel. Just the sense that the way he handled Zod and everything, and just the rules that they set up. If it was his first time out there, he didn't know what he was doing.
Right.
You get a pass for that movie. This has been 18 months. He should be Superman by now.
Well, that's another thing too.
And like I wanted to see, and like it's the thing that really hurt me was there were opportunities where you could have had some really cool action sequences, and you could have seen Superman being Superman.
Right.
Like that Day of the Dead scene.
Yeah.
Where like, we're gonna get to see him go in there, save somebody, and you just see him carrying her out. I just felt like that was wasted.
But right, that's what I'm saying. But that's why all those scenes with him when he's doing anything good are minimized.
Yeah.
Is to keep him from being too good in your face, like that blatant, like it is Superman, truth, justice, the American way, like because they wanted you to feel like it's a Batman movie and side with Batman's point of view.
But even then, the arguments against him. Like Holly Hunter's character, Just the whole making decisions unilaterally. I don't understand what the hell she was talking about.
Sure, if you could just speak into the microphone, sir, we would like to talk to you about some things.
I don't understand why, he shouldn't be making decisions unilaterally. And then Charlie Rose asks her, "What do you mean?" And then they cut. And we don't understand. She doesn't get to explain herself.
Yeah, there's a lot of hard cuts. That's the thing too. People are freaking out about it. It was a thing I really didn't realize was throwing me off. Was the edit some of these scenes, the way some of these scenes would come in, start, and leave, and edit, and their usefulness in general. But yeah, there's a lot of retarded shit with the fucking motivation on that stuff. You were kind of jumping in before. I thought you had something. By now, it's probably out of your head by now.
Mm-hmm. Just there were plot holes. There were pacing issues.
Here's the thing. That was, here's the thing I don't get. Like like you said, it's 18 months later, and for me to back up this thing I have about them not showing Superman in the light on purpose, is that 18 months go by. Instead of hearing about all the crazy good shit that he's done as the counterpoint during any of that TV stuff, no one goes on about that. It's it's not covered. On purpose. Yeah. It's oh no, I'm sure he was doing things. Yeah, sure, he left the giant wreckage of the alien craft in the middle of the ocean to poison all the fish and the people in that area. Luckily, anybody was even alive to find the kryptonite in there,
along with the alien radiation.
Right, conveniently that stuff was still around. But wouldn't you clean up that mess?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel
because obviously in a logical world, Superman would have made good by now.
Yeah.
He would be fucking like you said. He would be Superman. He would have cleaned up all the wreckage from all that destruction in both fucking cities and wherever it was.
I feel like
in an afternoon he'd be done. Yeah, and people would be like, "All right, everything's got a little crazy, but he swept. He swept up, and he swept up the room."
I feel like
put the buildings back together.
I feel like a petulant nerd boy saying that. That's not Superman, but it's true.
Well, that's I mean, and that's the thing you have to learn or remember is that that's not Superman. This isn't Batman. These aren't. This isn't based on any one particular story.
Yeah.
Sadly, it's how people will talk to people about their elected officials. This is the guy you got. I don't want to say suck it up. It is what it is, but we can only hope it gets better from here. But it might. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but look, I liked it a lot. I feel like it's got a lot of problems. It's got some problems, but you can't deny that the movie is visually, stunning to look at.
Probably one of the best shot scenes, shot interpretations of the death of Martha and Thomas Wayne to date. I just thought it was
the opening sequence.
Yeah, really, I thought it was a really great scene the way it was shot.
No, yeah.
I feel like you've seen a bunch of them in the past few years with the Nolan trilogy, and then with Gotham, and then with movies before that. So it was definitely the best.
All very, very different takes on it.
Yeah.
I was shocked when Thomas Wayne tried to throw that punch, and
well, that's something you've never seen.
Yeah.
Well, fair enough. No, yeah.
I wasn't shocked.
No,
but I was surprised.
Yeah,
I was
like, what? He does that?
Yeah. A little bit of that. I
wasn't disappointed, but I was a little surprised about it because out of every interpretation of that scene that I have seen before,
right.
Usually
it's very, it's usually very, not me.
Yeah.
Well, save my
I
lady.
do declare, but
well, like Batman Begins, he's trying to take control of the situation. Of hey, it's all right, it's okay, just walk away, and then he just shoots him anyway.
Right. Yeah.
Here it was more like, fuck you.
He gets bold and stuff.
Very.
Well, it was Negan, so he does have a little bit of an anger problem.
I was gonna say it was very Zack Snyder.
Well, it's that too. Well, here's the thing I kind of have an issue with. Is Zack Snyder, because he's so visually driven, right? People say that his story stuff fucking lacks in response, in counterbalance to that, and that's an argument you can make it on some stuff. You know what I mean? You can probably make it here to a degree, but I think it becomes evident in certain things, like you know what I mean, like the whole thing in the beginning with even the way the necklace gets caught on the back of the gun, and when the gun cocks back, that snaps the thing. And so for me, I feel like when they talk about, do we need his origin? Like that's the image. that's the one image he's locked onto, and he has to do that whole scene now to support that image, to carry that image and put that image in film. And I feel like that's a reason why we got the whole dream sequence that means nothing, that equals out to nothing. That was nothing more than, dude, I got this crazy nightmare in my head that Batman's got, and like he keeps on adding to it and adding to it and adding to it, and until eventually to the story, it's cool as fuck. And you get to see a nightmare scenario because Batman's having nightmares. Okay. Yeah. But
it serves a purpose for the later storyline with Darkseid and the Justice League.
But it shouldn't.
Why not?
Because Batman can't predict the future. Like, so he sees the giant Omega symbol in the sand.
Right, but that whole scene was Flash telling him what was going to
happen. I don't think so. I think those
that's a good argument. That's a good counter argument to my point.
I think they were just visions that he was happening, and Flash just happened to pop in at the end of
because he does the fake wake up where like he comes out of the nightmare, and then like he wakes up in the Bat Laboratorium, and Flash then appears.
Was that how it went down?
And then he wakes up again because it was a fake wake up. It was one of these things.
No, I took the scene as like Flash.
But if I had thought of that like that nightmare scenario is actually Flash letting him see what happens in the future, then okay.
Yeah.
Because I took that as it was straight up his dream state imagination. I'm supposed to take it as it's only.
And I didn't take it the way you took it, and if I took it that way, I'd be equally annoyed as you were.
Fair enough, because I hadn't seen anything that kind of pushed it out like that. That helped to reinforce that.
Like the intention that I thought is that Superman was possessed in that scene, and that's why he was killing everybody. But I just wish there was some visual cue to show that. So like, for people who don't know the comics, they would just think Superman's gone crazy.
The scene might be serving a dual purpose. Where for most people and even for fans alike, it's supposed to just kind of come off as a general nightmare thing. And in retrospect, once they get to Darkseid and then they establish stuff with the Flash, and like, then it'll, in hindsight, it'll be like, oh my gosh, like it was all right there. Like, you know what I mean? So maybe, like you're saying, the reason they didn't over-establish whether or not he was possessed in that scene is because they're trying to play it a little bit more as a nightmare, as it might just be Bruce's imagination going crazy in a nightmare state. But I felt like it was predicting too much stuff that he couldn't know about initially. So if Flash, I'll run with Dom's theory on that because I'll take from that. You know what I mean? That because I'm cool with doing that. Some other people will just like lock on to their thought and theory, like, you know what I mean? But I'm like, no, that's a good counterpoint to it. Like, that what if, that part of that is coming from the Flash, like he's part of doing that. Granted, it's not quite Wally's power set, to not only.
Well, is he playing Wally or is he playing Barry?
It's Barry.
Well, maybe he's dreaming, and the Flash is trying to yell at him while he's dreaming.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And that's something happens.
Yeah, and you don't know how the Flash got back there. Is that of his own will? Did he use like a cosmic treadmill, or did they come upon a time machine where they could send him back for 5 seconds?
Fair enough.
I saw a lot of theories online that that the way the Flash was portrayed in the movie, like how he's got that big the big suit with the battle armor and everything, and the way like how hectic he is in that scene, and like how shaken up he is, and how he's trying to get Bruce's attention in that moment. That scene is going to be a scene from the final installment of this entire universe, which will come full circle with Flashpoint.
Okay, all right.
So that because in Flashpoint he dies, right? Or not Flashpoint, but. What's the big DC?
Crisis.
Final Crisis.
Yeah.
Crisis on Infinite Earth. He's the one that ends up saving everyone. He dies or whatever.
It could be the culmination. What we're seeing in this movie could be the culmination of some 11th hour desperation attempt during a battle to get a message to Batman back in time, so none of this ever happens. Or something.
That's exactly what it is.
Rewrite the timeline, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I bet you in the end of that movie, he does it again, and then finally Batman gets it, and then like he'll rewrite the timeline, and then all of a sudden,
well, maybe by the time that movie comes. The Flash will do that, and then we'll see Bruce wake up, and then we'll see a message remaking Superman versus Batman without Zack Snyder.
No, and one other thing just overall with the movie was the cohesion. And I expected more unraveling of the universe and show the way that they preview different things. And like there are certain characters in this type of movie, if there's a person on screen and they didn't originate in the comics when they could have, I just don't understand why they wouldn't have gone that route. Like in the first scene in Metropolis, when Bruce Wayne shows up and he calls the guy on the phone and tells him to evacuate the building, and he goes, "Hey, Jack." Who the fuck is Jack? And like later in the movie, you know, he's looking through his financial stuff, and he's looking for the checks, and he goes, "Hey, Greg, who the fuck is Greg? Could I get a Lucius Fox up in here?"
Like, get a motherfucking Lucius Fox?
Because like, if that guy in Metropolis, he called up and it was Lucius Fox, and he'd be like, "Hey, oh, okay, that's an Easter egg. Oh, I didn't know he was going to be in this movie." And then he dies in the first scene. That would have meant something.
But you would have hated that.
Yeah, but
you'd be like, they killed fucking Lucius Fox in the fucking building.
No, I wouldn't have.
How do you feel about Jimmy Olsen? How do you feel about them killing Jimmy Olsen? That happened so fast.
Was that Jimmy Olsen?
Yeah.
Well, it was. It was a CIA op.
I thought Jenny Olsen was the Middle Eastern intern that was now a reporter.
They're saying like
I saw a lot of things online that were like saying that he is Jimmy Olsen, but they just didn't really say his name in full in the movie.
That's the problem. If he was Jimmy Olsen, they should have fucking said it.
Well, fair enough, too. It should have been made more obvious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think
it was like, it could have been.
CIA guy turned out to be
Jimmy Olsen. Well, then I think, based
on
on that argument alone, I think it's safe to say that it wasn't Jimmy Olsen.
I think he's credited as maybe Jimmy Olsen. That was the thing. But they just...
then yet again, somebody on the somebody dropped the ball big time.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So, you know, and it's also like the fact that there was no tag at the end of the credits.
Why? Why do you need a tag at the end of the credits?
I wanted one. You know, I want to get.
That's not what I asked you.
But
that's not what I asked you. I said, why do you need one, my friend?
To get people excited for the next movie. Give me that tease. Give me that something that we're coming back for.
I want. What, Bill? You and I were one of the first people to leave that friggin' movie, and we went back for a second time. We had to find your phone.
That's right. That's right.
You know what?
Yeah.
But most people didn't realize it's a Warner Brothers movie. It's not a Marvel movie.
You know that there's gonna be 24 people like me at every screening who are gonna be sitting behind, waiting. What are we gonna see? What are we gonna see?
Yeah.
And then it's just Atlas Entertainment, and you're just like, what the fuck?
Well,
okay, that's what you were gonna see.
Checked it out.
So to squash that, this is an interview on IGN with Zack Snyder, and it is indeed Jimmy Olsen, and he chose to swiftly kill off the character, quote, because we don't have room for Jimmy Olsen in this pantheon of characters.
Yeah, they don't have hardly any room for the characters they have in the movie now.
Well, here's the thing, too.
They got to make a 4-hour movie.
So I guess the way they were looking at it was like, oh, hey, we'll give a little Easter egg for the fans. Yeah. And because we have so many characters at the planet already, with Clark and with all those other side characters, that we don't need Jimmy Olsen. We're not going to use him, so we might as well use him
to kill him
just to give a nod to the fans.
Yeah, but to try and kill him off for probably a little bit of dramatic sake, you know what I mean, the punch of it all.
And they didn't even the fact that it's Jimmy Olsen and it didn't really mean anything to Clark after that.
Means that it meant
that what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like that actually pisses me off more. If
here's another way it'll piss you off.
That Clark didn't get annoyed about that because it's supposed to be fucking best.
It's supposed to be his buddy, right? So, but here's another reason why that should get you annoyed because in the pantheon of the movies or just in this particular movie, because you didn't need him in here, but you could have him in the next Superman movie working there. Maybe you don't give him a lot to do, or he's just a runner boy or some shit, but you don't have to kill him off because you don't have room in the pantheon. It's a universe. There's room for everybody.
Right. Well, also,
that's not why you kill him off.
That's a good point. I mean, you talk about the DC universe, which has a couple thousand freaking characters?
Easily.
So to kill off Jimmy Olsen...
it just wasn't worth it.
You could look for an excuse to kill off any number of characters that they've had for the last 50, 60 years
well, fair enough,
that they're not even using.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
But that's what I'm just saying.
And that'd be Easter eggs galore. I mean, for the hardcore nerds, they'd be like, oh my God, they killed off that guy?
And if you're going for the shock element of killing him off, you should have set him up a little bit more. Yeah. That's the thing.
Hey,
that's the real takeaway. In a way.
This is the whole thing with this movie, though. This movie suffers from two things. One, too many cooks in the pot. Right, that's how Warner Bros. Works. That's
most movies, but
it's poor editing and lighting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The lighting is...
the editing throws you off and you're confused big time.
Mud.
And that last battle, 45-minute fight, right?
Yeah,
something like that.
It felt like it. I don't know how long
it
was.
Quite that long,
but
it
feels dark as hell. It was so dark that there was a time I was telling you yesterday. At one point, I lost Doomsday.
Yeah.
Well, how do you lose the biggest character
on
the fucking screen?
You know why it was so dark, right? Because that's the best way to hide bad effects.
Yep.
Yes. Oh, I know. That's exactly what it was.
That's what he was leading up to, I'm sure.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking when I was seeing it.
Mm-hmm. It's like, that's the best way to hide a rush job. That's why most superhero stuff now is at night. I'll tell you why the Flash is always at night. You know what I mean?
They didn't go at this thinking anything through properly, and that's a result of all these other people who should have no say in things coming to people and saying, "Hey, how about this? How about this? How about this?" And before you know it, all this stuff's got to be in there.
It's fair enough to say that's how it's built up because it is. But the thing is that
look, Zack Snyder, when he's left to his own devices, like with Sucker Punch, he can make a good visual movie.
Yeah.
But when you have to have everything is Superman. So when you have Superman, you got to find kryptonite. You got to spend 10, 15 minutes finding kryptonite at some point in the storyline because you got to have that for a Superman movie. There are things you got to have for a Superman movie, things you got to have for a Batman movie. Now you got to have them all in one movie.
Yeah.
And then you got to have other stuff too. Now you're bringing in Wonder Woman, you're bringing in Doomsday, you're bringing in all this other stuff in.
Well, that's not that has nothing to do with the production company or like the filmmakers. It has to do with the characters being in the movie together.
Let me finish. All right, because when you have all this stuff now, you have a time limit. Now, you got 2.5 hour movie, 3 hour movie. You got 7, 8 hours of friggin' footage that you cut out of this movie because you got to cut for time.
Yeah.
You can't have any real story for anybody.
But it can happen, though.
And
I think it was too much for these guys to handle.
You don't get
but it can come out.
any development with anybody in this movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't feel anything for Lex Luthor. Usually I feel like he's the biggest dick in the whole movie. And I usually feel that in the first 30 seconds of the movie.
Right.
You don't feel anything for Batman. When the battle comes, you're not vested in anybody. Nobody was cheering for anybody in that battle until Wonder Woman showed up.
Fair enough. I mean, that is true.
Right?
I mean, like there was, there was some cool oohs and ahs when crazy shit happened.
And when you walk into that movie, you walked in either a Batman or a Superman fan. By the time that battle came, you didn't give a shit what was going on until Wonder Woman came on.
Well, you get lost in it. That's the thing. I think you get lost in the action because the action.
I'm not even talking about the visuals now. I'm talking about like you're not because you don't get emotionally invested in anybody.
Yeah, well, it's also like the end scene, the climax when Superman bites the dust. I never thought I'd see Superman die on screen and go, "Oh,
yeah."
Okay.
So
they're dealing with that story.
Zero development. It was, you know what I mean? Because there's no time. Everything's got to chug right along. You got.
Well, that's a big
here's
part
Bruce Wayne. Here's Bruce Wayne as Batman. Here's Clark Kent. Here's Clark Kent as Superman. Oh wait, Clark Kent married Lois Lane. We got to see them together.
But here's my thing to that. I'm not saying that that's not true about this movie, but I'm just gonna say in general, it can be done. It's been done before. I mean, to varying degrees of success.
Yeah.
But I'm saying so. Like for this is what Zack Snyder is supposedly guilty of: is that the visuals are always rock solid. They tend to be lean towards being
they want
really
that. They want that solid this time,
but he ends up falling apart when it comes to story, which means why you actually care about people when they get to these points in the storyline.
Right, and that's the whole reason the whole movie falls apart at the end because you don't really care about anybody in the movie, And where was Gotham City in relation to
10 miles away.
Metropolis?
10 miles. I looked it up. 10 miles away.
10 miles away because
it was meant to be like the difference between Oakland and San Fran.
Yeah, I know,
like
but
this.
it's like
that little island in the middle.
Yeah. Okay.
Two little peninsulas.
So it's like
out.
looking from Battery Park to Jersey, and there's like Liberty Island in the middle.
Basically. You could swim it.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean.
It's like there was no differentiation between the two. It's like you got I was telling you, you
daytime and nighttime. That's the only difference.
Yeah, okay, daytime and nighttime, but
who knew that there was a line that ran right across the earth?
Yeah, 10 miles is enough that it doesn't have to be dark and rainy over Metropolis just because it's dark and rainy over Gotham.
Well, fair enough. It shouldn't be also cloudy over. It shouldn't be cloudy over Kansas every time we go to Kansas
but
either.
The color palette should have been different.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? Like this isn't. This one wasn't going into this one. You have to go into it not as a Batman movie of the past three. Can't think of it like that.
Right.
This has got to be different because you're not trying to do what Batman was. Batman was trying to revive the franchise as a whole. It was trying to rebuild everything.
Right. Well, this one's trying to build a universe.
Yeah, this is trying to build a universe, but you got to go to a different way. In the past, with Batman, you kind of had to go that way because that was the most, up until those movies came out, the most successful version of Batman was a very dark version recently.
Right.
Right? Superman, totally opposite. He's always very colorful, very bright, solid colors. You gotta when you're mixing the two, you gotta come up with something a little different. You gotta be able to something that we both don't feel perfectly comfortable, but comfortable enough for the viewer. You can't have the dark.
Well, that's the thing. Superman's not given enough.
I mean, don't go with black. Go with gray.
Right. Well, that's the thing with Superman in this. He ends up being at a point where he's not bright enough. He's not built up. He's not confident enough. He's not Superman enough.
Right.
Yeah.
And what's to say Metropolis isn't San Diego? San Diego gets sun like 98% of the year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And what's to say that Gotham isn't friggin' London, which gets rain all the friggin'
I mean, there's bigger fish to fry with this.
Yeah. You know what I mean, he doesn't really smile until right before he dies.
Who?
Superman.
Somebody smiled in this movie?
Yeah, no, like right before he picks up, he looks at Lois and goes, "I love you," and he smiles.
He should have given like
and it was just like too little, too late. Like at that point, you know.
So I had a problem with the Martha Kent thing, the Martha issue. I was talking to Dom about this at work a little bit. That this really pulled me out of the movie. Because I understand some people are probably like, oh, wow, how humanizing, instantly.
What, just you never noticed that they both had, their moms both had the same name?
But instantly, as much as like, okay, I never put that together, fucking...
happy accident.
Happy accident. But I don't give a shit, and Batman wouldn't give a shit either. All of a sudden, he's going to be like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, that humanizes you. Oh, I see the error of my ways. You are no longer a threat. This whole fight was for nothing. Hey, you know what? We should work together now.
Well, no.
Oh, wait a minute. What time is it? It's doomsday o'clock. There's a monster being hatched across the city. We have to go anyway.
I could just see it now. Batman comes flying down into the alley with the purse snatcher right there, and he comes down and says, wait, what's your mother's name, Martha?
What are your parents' names?
Okay, I'll go toe to...
I can't find anybody named after the same name as my parents.
I'm going to let you go.
Bill, I'll go toe to toe with you on that a little bit, because that whole fight scene, the thing he's telling him is you're not a man. He's basically treating him like he is this scourge that needs to be eradicated. He's a wild animal that's got to be put down.
Nothing changes.
Because in that moment when he says Martha, and then later Lois Lane tells him it's his mother, he realizes,
he's my brother.
No,
I get it now.
But this is a human being. Okay,
no,
this
not.
is someone.
But that's my point. Is that it humanizes him, but it doesn't make him any more or less of a threat. And it shouldn't. Because then the argument is like, it's just about him being a quote-unquote alien. And it shouldn't. It should be about the immense amount of power that this person has. Even if for a second he goes, maybe he's not from another planet. Maybe he is human after all. Mm-hmm. So what? That was not your issue. Your issue really isn't supposed to be about where he's from. It's just that he's an uncontrollable force of nature that can destroy the planet, and we need to stop it by any means necessary, even if there's a one scintilla of a chance he might be annoyed one day.
Well, and I think
let's not forget too that he is an alien, and just because he has a mother doesn't mean shit.
Well, okay, but I think this also goes back to the thing in the beginning is that Superman didn't properly explain himself to the world and say, I grew up here, I love this place, I want to protect it, and then people might have gone, oh, okay, maybe he doesn't want to destroy us.
You know what? Maybe Superman didn't do as good as a one-on-one interview with Lois Lane as he did in the last series with Christopher Reeve, where she came to the rooftop and they had a long sit-down with a glass of wine and talked about, where are you from? And he's like, I'm from a planet, but I grew up here. Like, they didn't do that. He didn't do that. He's a little too shy.
This guy needs a publicist. This guy... I'm telling you.
Was he Hancock?
You know what I mean? Oh, God. But... this is not to say I did not like the movie. I just didn't love the movie, and I have to compartmentalize. See, here's the thing, too, because I'm let down by the movie, but I have to compartmentalize that, because how much of that letdown is me having too much of overinflated expectations?
Yeah.
All right, so I have to chop down some of that. Some of that is like bullshit. Mm-hmm. It's not real. It's not a true, and I was overinflated. I shouldn't expect it so much. It's a movie, after all. It's not going to be a masterpiece.
And I got to tell you, man, the Vegas gambler in me is super excited for Wonder Woman. And I can't wait for Justice League. Gambler in me. Telling you, man, this time it's going to work.
Dom, I can feel it's like... we're shutting you out. I want to make sure you're in here, you're involved, and... I want to know...
ask me any random question from the movie.
What did you like most?
What I like most?
What did you see or feel in that thing that you said, wow, that's a good spin, or cool?
The opening credits.
What what was coming out of it? Maybe something that, you feel like, hey, it's still like in the end, it's XYZ.
The Easter egg at the end of the movie.
Which one?
No, there was none. That was the joke.
No. Well, I mean, kind of.
There was,
not an Easter egg.
What'd you think of the Inception ending?
That I didn't like.
Why? What the
Did the dirt lift off the ground or not?
It did.
It did. But we all knew it was gonna.
Yeah.
From the fucking moment that he gets fucking stabbed, I'm like, okay.
No, but
as soon as I saw the funeral.
Well, it's like I couldn't believe Christopher Nolan wasn't involved in this movie because it ends exactly the same way as Inception.
Well, he was. He did get an EP credit. I did notice it in the opening credits.
But that's like because that's carryover from Man
of
Steel.
Of course. I'm just
no.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I liked the movie. Obviously, I thought it was a real. I as many problems as you guys have beaten to death. Really,
I know we over talked a little bit.
That's cool with that's cool with me. Like you guys pretty much covered all of it. But as many problems as there were, I still had a good time seeing it, which I think is. I don't know if that's just has something to do with me or the movie itself. Probably a little bit more with me, the fact that I'm a big superhero fan and a comic fan, and I do lean a little more DC, I guess, if you're gonna go that route with the fucking comic book Civil War.
DC versus Marvel.
Right.
You lean DC.
Yeah, I did.
But I personally, I mean, Bob, obviously you don't feel that way, but I personally had a good time.
I didn't think it was a great movie. I
never said it was a great movie.
I wanted to like the movie. I went in there thinking this movie. I was hopeful.
Right.
I wasn't buying into the hype that all the bad stuff that was going around. But then it just the way it played out, it just.
Yeah. No, I completely.
It was flat for me, and everything about it was flat. I had no emotional attachment to anything that was going on by the end of the movie.
I feel like
hour and a half in, I was like looking at my watch.
I feel like a lot of the issues that are in there, if it had about 20 minutes or half an hour cut out of it, they might have ended up addressing some of the stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like they really missed an opportunity to make me care about Superman more, though. I feel
I
like
agree with that.
I feel like that's, you can't take for granted that I don't need his origin. You know what I mean? Of course, but don't take for granted that I'm going to be inside Superman's head and I get where he's coming from, and I don't need to see that. And I really feel like that's a thing that they downplayed or marginalized on purpose, just to make it not too sympathetic of him. But meanwhile, that's what it's supposed to be. Like, it's supposed to be him fucking having his long speech moment too. You know what I mean? He gets like one moment with Perry White to kind of go off on Batman. Just one little exchange.
Yeah.
He doesn't really get the long soliloquy that Batman gets to have with Alfred,
Yeah,
where it's
over
about
numerous
Superman doesn't get to go. It's like it's about truth, justice, and the American way. And I'm trying to fight for these things, and I'm trying to do right. He gets a moment in a Senate hearing, and then he fucking blow the shit up.
And you don't really get a moment to understand why everyone loves him and gives him that giant funeral at the end.
Yeah, because didn't they all hate him?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But now we're going to give him a military funeral.
There's no emotion. It goes to everything I was saying. There's no emotional.
And there's a disconnect between ideas. Like you see, like we just pointed out here. I didn't even realize that. It's a great point. Like
I didn't think of that.
Half the world loved him, half the world hate him. But then we give him a military funeral basically at the end. You know what I mean? So it's like there's a monument in the park, but like he destroyed the city, and then you gave him a monument. What's the monument for? Oh, he saved us and he helped clean up. Maybe he helped clean up. Maybe I'm right. Maybe it's the sweeping. A lot of sweeping goes a long way. Someone's got to do it. But
he rebuilt the Baxter building.
You know what I mean? Well, that would be interesting.
He rebuilt Fox.
Well, that's what I was like trying to think. The Wayne building.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that would be an opportunity to kind of paint him a little better. Is like maybe show the dichotomy between the people of being fans or being a hater or a supporter of Superman. Maybe have shown it in the Office place. Maybe it shouldn't have been just an argument between him and Perry. Maybe he could have gotten into it with, I don't know. Maybe that Cub reporter kid that just died out in the Middle East. Oh, no, wait. No, that kid's gone. I don't know. I know I had like a list of points in my head of things, but I mean, it's just more issues I have with some plot holes that I saw pointed out to me online. And that shit's out there. People want to dissect it on their own time.
What did you guys think about the whole coming down of that tower? Like that kind of like got me a little uncomfortable.
What do you mean?
Well, after 9/11, I mean, we live in New York City, so for me, it was like, I don't like seeing that.
Nah. I'm fine with it.
I mean, it didn't bother me, but I was like,
I can understand how that could be a little.
Need to see that.
I didn't find a lot of believability in him running fucking full steam into it, and then coming out crispy clean on the end. Hey, you don't want it to kill him, fine, but to be not dusty,
really, let him breathe a little bit of that shit in first.
Well, I mean, granted, we're from New York. We saw a lot of photos and a lot of footage, but I feel like most of America did too. And to have him not come out like he rolled around for 6 months in a fucking wet in flour, it just makes no sense to me. Like,
and there's one moment where he walks in and he's in the middle of the fog, and there's just this one old guy who just strolls behind him and looks at him like, what the hell is this guy doing?
It's like they were shooting the scene and they realized that, wait, this looks weird with nobody walking through it with him there, so we need to put somebody in here.
Where's your uncle?
Where's the janitor?
The memes that are gonna come out of that image for the next 20 years.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know where else to go with this. I feel like we'll just end up crapping on it.
Yeah, I had higher hopes.
I think we all had higher hopes.
You know what? Your listeners, tell us what you think.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people will kind of comment on it. I feel like.
So I got a question.
Let me throw this out there real quick. Okay. I feel like it still leaves the DC movie universe in a good place. Batman. In the end, I think we all agree that he ends up working. All the fear of him not being a good Batman in the beginning, remember when the cast announcement came out, was all for nothing. He's really good at it. He's really good Batman.
Yeah.
He's still a good Superman. Just didn't get enough proper light, maybe.
Yeah.
She's good as Wonder Woman. Again, didn't get enough time to shine. And I feel
What's his name as Lex Luthor? He was really good.
What I'm glad is that none of the issues that we have, generally speaking, are things that will kind of taint and carry over in a way. Like they're structural things. They're things that are inherent to the movie itself, not the world that they've made. So there's still hope for the next movies to be better.
Yeah. I hope that the Suicide Squad is going to be a really good one.
I had pointed this out to Palmer, and I said, could you imagine if Suicide Squad is like some just universally beloved, like great movie? Like people are like, yeah, it shouldn't be great, but it fucking is.
Yeah.
Like it's a whole bunch. Like, could you imagine? Like if it's that would be hard.
I think it will be.
Get some of that Deadpool love.
And I don't think Zack Snyder will ever work again at DC. At Warner.
No, he starts production on Justice League Part 1 next month.
There you go.
He's directing.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen, bro.
Well, if that's already locked in, then I guess after that movie, I think
whenever he's contractually obligated.
He's not. What I'm trying to say is he's not after the response to this movie. I don't think that they're gonna lock him in for Part 2 if he's on Part 1
and pull him out. We finally get that George Miller Justice League.
Word of advice: STORY. Put it in the movie.
So yeah,
that's it for me.
So if people want to give us their thoughts, how could they do that, Bill?
I don't know. You can send us emails like those other kids did earlier. If you want to do that, you can send it to podcast@wickedtheory.com. And I guess we're wrapping it up. That's Ed's soft way of saying, yeah, Bill, let's fucking wrap up this show. Because Ed's fucking producer now, I guess.
I hand you a segue.
Yeah, but it's not that it's not obvious. So I'm not gonna fucking run with that nice and easy. I gotta point out how clunky it is.
You can't.
I gotta make it
can't
clunky.
Just take it. You have to go. Oh, look at this, everybody!
Exactly. I'm not doing that shit. What am I, your fucking puppet? It ain't fun unless it's funny. All right. And then, you can follow all of us on Twitter. You can follow Dom at Dom_Torre, Torre. You can follow Ed at TBD, Ed O'Hare TBD. You know what you say?
Edward O'Hare TBD.
That's not even close to what I said. And then Bob, he's on the old Wicked, not the Wicked. He's on the Twitter at Bob at WTCP. PC. Just find them. And then I'm on there too, Bill, Wicked Theory. And then, if you enjoyed this shitty episode, you can come back next week. We'll be here doing it again.
Why you got to downplay? This is a fun episode.
No, it was fun. I mean, I enjoyed hashing it up. I definitely feel like people are thinking these guys definitely hated this fucking movie.
You need more confidence in yourself, Bill. I'm just telling you.
Well, pointing out that I don't have any isn't going to help, Edward. Bob, take us the fuck out of here, please.